While Narendra Modi is the face of the BJP campaign in Maharashtra, leading more than 20 rallies personally, the Congress campaign has pretty much been left to the outgoing Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan, who's also being projected as the party's chief ministerial candidate this time. But with anti-incumbency against the state government, a broken alliance and the personal popularity of the Prime Minister, is the Congress fighting a losing battle, or is the Congress fighting with a hope to win? Joining me now is Prithviraj Chavan. You're fighting your maiden assembly election, and even in your hometown, you're actually up against a former congressman, an old colleague of yours who's won 7 times from that seat and who refused to give it up for you. Is that an illustration of how tough this election is overall for you at an individual level and for the party at a state level?
Elections are always difficult. No election can be taken lightly. But as far as my personal election is concerned, I have won 3 Lok Sabha elections for that constituency. Although I never contested a Vidhan Sabha election, which is a much smaller area. So my election is one thing. I think I'm comfortably placed there. Unfortunately,
despite the fact that you're up against a veteran from your own party, whom you of course have a long history of differences with.
Absolutely. NCP has withdrawn the candidate. Now they're not decided whom to vote, but
NCP is backing.
No, they're backing NCP. No, they are not backing. NCP is not backing Vilas Rao. They're watching, but I think they will ultimately support BJP. But my constituency is not an issue there. I've been able to spend 2-3 days, which I did not think I would be able to, but I have been able to do that. Let's come to the state scene. See, anti-incumbency is not automatic. It is not directly that if you have got so many years in power, there will be anti-incumbency. Because take Maharashtra itself. In 2004, we had 5 years of governance experience. In 9-10 years of anti-incumbency, we won with a thumping majority. Same with UPA 1. We won thumping majority. So it's not that if you are in power for so many years, there will be anti-incumbency. How do you use that power? How do you govern? That's the key thing.
How do you deal with the description of yourself as an honest politician, that rare breed, as an honest politician, but as an indecisive chief minister? This description has been used for you again and again, and it hasn't always been used by parties like the BJP. It has been used by parties like the NCP, who were your ally till a few days ago. It has even been used by some of your own colleagues in the Congress party, like you would remember Milind Deora's tweet. He went public with calling you indecisive, saying decisions aren't being taken.
No, that's not right. You see, I have focused largely on decisions which are pending for a very long time. They're difficult decisions where bringing different parties together on a table and getting a consensus built is always difficult. And I pride myself in saying that many decisions are pending for 50 years, 25 years, 10 years, I've been able to resolve. Now, as far as decisions on files is concerned, my file clearance has been more than any previous chief minister.
Why is that not the perception?
But this perception is a well-coordinated attack by certain lobbies.
Within your own party as well?
No, certain outside the parties who co-opted certain people. Then of course there are aspirations for a higher position in NCP as well as in other parties. So they joined up that thing. A chorus was created to attack me. They couldn't attack me on corruption. They couldn't attack me on personal behavior and all that. So what could they do? They started this.
But what about when that critique came from, like I said, Milind Deora went on Twitter and said decision making is very slow when you were chief minister. How did you react to that?
No, I didn't want to react precisely. I only reacted by saying it's slow in what way? Either there are some specific decisions I could have taken but not taken. Now, there are decisions, for example, take Jhudpi Jungle problem in Vidarbha, pending for 50 years. The Nazul lands in Marathwada, pending for 50 years. The mill workers housing project, pending for 20 years. My file clearance record has been higher than any other previous chief minister.
When the outgoing deputy chief minister, former deputy chief minister Ajit Pawar, and the outgoing chief minister are at loggerheads, that they make no bones about the fact that they never got along in government. Now they can take that disagreement between you and Ajit Pawar, now you can take it out into the public domain. But for the voter, they're saying one man was the chief minister, another man was the deputy chief minister. They obviously never got along in power. So how can you count the achievements of your government when your own deputy chief minister is attacking
whether
you?
The achievements are on ground, whether we've been able to take decisions, we took decisions in cabinet. Now, you cannot have a divided cabinet and take decisions. There are some personal interests which I resisted, and there are certain decisions which I wanted to take, I could not take. For example, take example of there are 10,000 engineering college seats vacant right in Maharashtra. And the minister comes to open new private engineering colleges. I said, look, what about these empty seats? He said, no, it's election year.
I know you'll have a long list of achievements, but is this something you wish you could have done as Chief Minister that you haven't been able to do?
One of the biggest problems with the Maharashtra alliance is this is the only alliance that I know of in the whole country where two important key portfolios of finance and home were not with the Chief Minister's party. I think that really spelled doom, that there is a limit to what you can achieve because of these two things. And we completely continue to be at loggerheads. Now, one way to deal with the alliances is to completely give in to the alliance partners' demand, particularly personal demands, keep them happy at any cost, and govern. But some of the things, when it directly impact larger public good, then there is a line where you draw a line. Okay, 1 or 2 personal favors for personal institution building, personal land grants and all that, one could see if they are not illegal. But point is, larger public interest you cannot sacrifice. There are many instances which I could discuss.
How would you describe Ajit Pawar, who was your number 2 in your government? How do you think he performed as a Deputy Chief Minister?
He was a good leader. He controlled financial mismanagement at times, and he had some good qualities. A very hard-working person, good personal qualities. But his ambition, the ambition to become Chief Minister sort of overtook his everything else. And of course, I can't get into the negatives of it publicly, but he had an advantage over any other deputy CM that Maharashtra saw, that he virtually was from the family. He owned the party. But other deputy CMs were there, Mr. Bhujbal or Mr. R.R. Patil or Mr. Vijay Mohite Patil. They were not from the family. So they were just deputy CMs who could be withdrawn anytime.
He's now talking about filing an RTI to expose you, saying that you cleared, multiple files to please the builder lobby in the last 2 months.
How many?
He wants you to explain why you suddenly cleared at great speed a number of files in the last couple of months.
The real question is this: was the average file clearance of my? See, first of all, I am the urban development minister. Now, who would clear urban development file? Not agriculture minister. Only I will develop it. Now, I have been clearing each department's file on an average, and those numbers are there. Now, while he was a deputy CM, all he had to do was pick up a phone and get all these details, which he did not. Only after the government fell, and of course, how it fell and with whom did they coordinate, that's another story. Only then he discovered that I had cleared more files. He did not discover it when he was a deputy CM, where on a phone call he could have got it. Now, RTI is a right of every citizen. He didn't have to tell anybody that I'll get an RTI. All he has to do is get RTI information, which I am willing to give him. How many files? I can give it to you, how many files I cleared. The real question is, was any file illegally cleared? In which case, I'll be seriously under jeopardy. Anybody can, any PIL activist, any RTI activist can file a complaint against.
Do you see any chance of the Congress and the NCP coming together again? Because this election has become all about the algebra of what happens in the post-poll.
Absolutely. It all depends on how NCP performs.
So, if the NCP performs
my point was,
to a reasonable degree, can the Congress and the NCP bury the hatchet?
That was the thrust of my reply was that will they perform to a reasonable degree to count at all.
But you have been suggesting that the NCP is cozying up to the BJP, yet if you see Mr. Modi attacks Sharad Pawar in every speech.
No, this is all theatrics, I think. Let's see. One simple example I'll give you how they are cozying up. You know, Jammu and Kashmir situation. Congress and National Conference worked together.
Yes.
They decided to go separately. They split, but they did not bring the government down. In Maharashtra, we decided to go separately, fight against each other. But here, NCP brings the government down with about 20 days to go for a new government to be formed. What happens? I resigned immediately after I became a minority. I didn't try to cobble together a majority. The governor calls me and gives me a letter saying, you are a caretaker chief minister, please don't take any decisions. Fine. But in the same, and I had personal discussion with the governor, and he explained to me that anything else would not be possible. But he behaves differently and makes a recommendation that no constitutional government is possible, so president's rule. And president rule is imposed on a Sunday decision, cabinet meeting without prime minister is imposed.
So who is behind that? What are you insinuating? You should elaborate on what you think the motive is.
I'm coming to that. They get a little advantage of running the government. So in effect, what NCP leadership has done is to hand over state of Maharashtra, although for 15-20 days, to BJP, to Mr. Narendra Modi, period. And now they go and appeal before the minority community to say that we are secular. What are they talking? There is an example in J&K where they did not bring the government down. If they did not bring the government down, I would have been a lame duck chief minister, he would have been a lame duck deputy chief. Why was he afraid that if I am even allowed to be chief minister for 15 days, and although I cannot take any policy decision, I can handle routine files, why was NCP afraid of my continuation?
So at what level do you think this decision was taken? You were obviously shocked that President's rule was imposed after you were given to believe that you would be caretaker chief minister.
There is no need to.
So at what level was this decision taken?
There is no need to impose President's rule, because President's rule means handing over the state to Mr. Narendra Modi.
So who are you blaming for that? Are you blaming the centre? But the NCP didn't take the decision to impose President's rule.
NCP did not have to pull the government down.
But the governor could still have gone with the caretaker chief minister recommendation.
No, but that he did, even after pulling it down, he did. But then some other pressures came on him. But if you had not pulled the government down, you had not withdrawn the support. See, withdrawal of support or no withdrawal support makes it least a difference. But handing over the state to Narendra Modi. Now, there is a person who can exercise all the powers of the chief minister today, and that person will take directions from Home Ministry or from the Prime Minister and do whatever he wants. It will be all legal.
Now, given your understanding of the situation, I ask again, is it possible for the Congress and the NCP to come together after the elections?
Well, I don't decide that.
Who decides that?
You know who decides.
But you would obviously not be in favor of it.
I'm not even. These decisions are taken at the highest level, but all of us sitting together.
So you're not ruling it out?
I'm not even saying yes, and I'm not saying no.
Okay. There is a perception that the Congress is not really fighting this fight. That while you have been named as a chief ministerial candidate, look at the difference in how the national leaders are responding, Mr. Chavan. You have Narendra Modi, who's leading 15 to 20 rallies personally. And you have Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, who I believe are leading no more than 4 rallies. Why such a stark difference?
No, I think the latest information that I have, both of them will address at least 4 rallies each. Okay. And that is a norm. Never in the history of independent India has a incumbent prime minister got so deeply involved in a state election by addressing 20 or I don't know how many odd rallies. They're trying to cram in even more. 30
but why is that wrong?
Well, nothing wrong. But I'm just trying to point out that never it has happened before. Take Indira Gandhi, take Jawaharlal Nehru, take Rajiv Gandhi, take Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh.
Does it make you nervous? Because in many ways it makes a battle Prithviraj Chavan versus Narendra Modi. Instead of Rahul.
I'll be very happy if that is.
But you have a chance of winning that battle?
No, my point is the real reason is BJP doesn't have leadership at a state level. They're trying to mask that fact out by spreading Modi all over and pretending as if, but that is telling people that Mr. Modi is going to be backseat driving the Maharashtra government.
But are you not worried about the Modi blitzkrieg in a sense that when his presence is everywhere, when he's fronting this campaign and you're left to contend with him, because your national leaders are not giving the same commitment, the same visible presence to the campaign?
No, I think if you mean 25 rallies to be addressed by one person, and that is a commitment, I think this is a weakness of BJP which is getting exposed. Now, other thing I would like to bring into it, here the Gujarat Chief Minister comes to Mumbai and says, wind up industries in Mumbai, Maharashtra and come to Gujarat. They shift institutes which have been sanctioned by central government in Maharashtra to Dwarka. Number of extensions. So ultimately, is a dream of ruling Mumbai, is a dream of ruling Maharashtra by Gujarat, which was attempted when the bilingual state was created by Mr. Morarji Desai, which 105 people gave their lives to create a separate independent Maharashtra. Is that dream being subtly brought in back again?
But was it responsible for you, who's a senior politician with many years of experience at national level, to compare the BJP and Narendra Modi to Hitler and the Nazis? The fact is that this is now the Prime Minister of the country. The people of India have given a verdict. So was it responsible of you?
No, I think we did that in Lok Sabha election, rightly so. And now he's the Prime Minister. Now, there's only one Prime Minister in the country, and that Prime Minister is Mr. Narendra Modi.
But even now you're saying that the way he's controlling the BJP, this is reminiscent of... you have drawn parallels with the Nazis.
Always saying that his style of functioning is completely autocratic, as it was in Gujarat, as the selected leaks against the minister, the fact that ministers are definitely being watched, is something unusual for this country. It shows trends. The way RSS Supremo was given live telecast rights on Doordarshan. So handing over of Doordarshan to RSS is also manifesting itself.
When I put this question to Nitin Gadkari about the RSS chief's telecast being live on Doordarshan, he said, if people didn't object when Nawaz Sharif at Jama Masjid was being shown live, why are they objecting to the RSS?
It's a laughable comparison.
What?
I mean, here a party which or a group of people who we suspect was banned at times for certain things, is not giving over the official...
There's not a banned group today.
Not today, but official communications channel of government of India has been handed over, has been controlled by him. We knew that he'll be controlling the official media, but now to give free live broadcast opportunity is unthinkable, is unusual, never been done in this country before.
Let me ask you, the polls are giving you a pretty good response on the personal popularity ratings. Do you feel let down by the Congress party?
No, I don't think it's true.
Do you feel that in a sense your fighting chance is taken away by the fact that your party doesn't fully back you?
No.
And I'm not talking about what the Congress calls the high command, I'm talking about the cadre, I'm talking about your MLAs.
No, I think it's unfair. I think the MLAs are fighting very hard, the cadres are fighting very hard. See, we had to run the government with the baggage of sort of thing of NCP, and we have done very well. We are standing on the achievements of a government, particularly in 5 years, which I think have been very impressive compared to any other previous 5-year period in Maharashtra. Particularly so, the Shiv Sena BJP rule of 95 to 99, completely mismanaged law and order situation, economy was in shambles, the debt mounted, and from that point we took over that broken economy in 99 and took Maharashtra to #1 position. But today Maharashtra is #1 economy in the country.
But if we accept that arithmetic and algebra is going to decide who's the next chief minister, then do you accept that the Congress is isolated to the degree that the BJP could, according to your own theory, go with Sharad Pawar, the BJP could reunite with the Shiv Sena, and the BJP could also take support from Raj Thackeray. Now for the Congress, none of these options exist, except maybe the NCP.
No, that's the fact that the Congress's ideological standing is known to everybody. There's no question of our lining up with communal parties just for the sake of power. And you have the example of Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, who spurned power and did not go into unethical
But then in
alliances.
that case, does that make you feel that you're fighting a losing battle?
No. It's not.
You've been asking voters to give a clear mandate.
Yeah, to my party.
But it could well be to the BJP?
No, I mean, it could well. People will decide ultimately. For example, in Lok Sabha election, we didn't expect one party to get absolute majority, but people voted for that. People are now sick and tired of alliance politics, of horse trading that happens, people switching parties. Now, can you imagine BJP has fielded about 100 candidates which switched over in last 1 week? They don't have leadership.
Last question, if you were a betting man or wearing your politician's hat, who do you think will be the next chief minister?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. See, I'm trying very hard for a Congress chief minister in state, and I think it will happen. The people of Maharashtra have never, right from the days of Hindu Mahasabha, have never supported Hindutva parties.
Do you believe the BJP and the Sena will get back together?
It all depends who BJP projects as a leader. Some leaders will work well with Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, others will not.
What are the odds you would give on your being the next chief minister?
Well, I'm not a betting man, but I think we're trying very hard, and I think people of Maharashtra will give back mandate to Congress party because of the work that we've done. Yes, I'm prepared to share the credit with NCP because they're with us. Now they're chosen to break away. And I'll again re-emphasize it is NCP who break away. Although they're trying to blame me and blame my leaders in Delhi. It's not true. Impossible conditions at the last minute that you share power 2.5 years each. Never been done.
It's not true that Rahul Gandhi wanted to go alone.
They're now finding some excuse. They're finding fault with me. They're finding fault with higher leadership. But when you impose conditions which are impossible to accept at the last minute, when Mr. Sharad Pawar met Sonia Gandhi ji, why didn't he bring this condition that we will not go into an alliance unless you give us power for 2.5 years?
I think it's quite clear it will be decided. What happens next will be decided in the post poll and not necessarily on the day of voting. Thank you so much.
I hope it will get decided on the day of the voting.
Thank you so much, Prithviraj, Chavan, from us. Thank you.